Waiting on y'all to pop on in the room. And then when you guys pop in the room, we'll start chopping up game the way we need to chop up some game. All right? Y'all in here? Let me get my recording devices popping. What's up, man? Y'all good? Hope y'all had a great week so far. I hope you're about to have a great weekend. Hope you guys are going to have a safe weekend. Shout out to the international family. Shout out to the FBA family. With your blessed Majara spirit. Let me see all the people with the Majara spirit. Let me see a black fist, please. Real quick, everybody with that foundational Black American Majara spirit. Let me see a black fist. Let's see who's up in the building tonight. There we go. We got the family with that foundational Black American Mojara spirit that we have that is very unique to us. Speaking of that Mojara spirit, boy, everybody wants to tap in on that Mojara foundational Black American energy. I saw Trump was doing a speech talking about how the blacks identify with him. He got indicted, and the blacks, oh, the blacks, they feel me now. They felt that I was being discriminated against. So the blacks, they have a camaraderie with me because I got indicted. Everything is all about what we feel. Anytime something happens, you got to circle back and see what are the black folks doing? How are they feeling about it? Who are they co-signing? It always circles back to us, ladies and gentlemen. People always got to latch on to that Mojara spirit. We're going to get some calls in a minute, but I'm just chopping it up. We'll get calls in a minute. Y'all start raising your hand when you want to get on. And speaking of the Mojara spirit, I put up a tweet earlier that went viral immediately, talking about uh, a cultural practice within white supremacist society. And I've talked about this many times before. The dominant society, this has been a long standing ritual with them. The practice of rubbing a black person's head. This is something that they've been doing since antebellum slavery. They would rub black people's heads for good luck, particularly foundational black Americans. They don't do this. It's not with black people globally. It's very specific to us that they do this to. I didn't see them, I don't see any evidence of them doing this in Africa to anybody. But this was a tactic that was specifically designated to us. This whole thing where the dominant white society people thought it was good luck to rub our heads. This is going, there's newspaper articles about this in the 1800s. This is a very well documented thing. I posted a clip of Cary Grant in a movie in 1933 rubbing the head of a bellman porter. So this was very common. A lot of baseball teams would have black kids as mascots so they could rub the black children's heads in order to get good luck. This is a long standing thing. Even today, ladies, especially sisters, when you go to work, there's always somebody in the dominant society trying to rub in your hair, trying to play in your hair. They always do that. And then they act like they don't know what that that culture is about. They act like they never heard of it. They heard of it. It's too prevalent and it's been around too long. They absolutely heard of it. See, that's why I want black folks to understand the innate spiritual and soul power that you have, because other people know what it is. They understand the innate power and they want to latch on to it any way they can. If they see a black person, especially some black person who's in a somewhat docile position under them or subservient position, that's the perfect candidate. Because some black folks you just can't walk up on grabbing their heads. But yeah, that whole thing of rubbing a black person's hair, that's them trying to transfer our Majara spirit into them. They know that our energy and our spirit is different and special. and they want to latch on to it any way they can. You see, this is why when the lynchings would happen, they would, and this is a part of the game that a lot of folks don't discuss openly. They would consume, literally eat some of the body parts of the black people after those lynchings. This was something that was very prevalent. We know that brothers were often castrated, but they don't talk about everything else they did with the body parts. They would chop off fingers, toes, and ears, and nobody talks about what they did with this stuff afterwards. They're very hush hush about it. Well, what they would do, they keep a lot of stuff as souvenirs. They would literally go home and eat and consume. That's what they did with Nat Turner. They were, after Nat Turner turned up on them people back in the 1830s. They lynched him and then took his body and uh, filleted his body up and made oil and started selling the oil of his body. Or they stretched him all out. They were selling the man's oil, bones, skulls. A few years ago, they found his skull turned up in Ohio at some white family's house. So they've been sitting up here passing around this man's body parts for a couple of 100 years now. You see, it's a deep dynamic. It's very deep, but they understand the power. There was it was a situation when W.E.B. Du Bois, he went down to Atlanta. I forgot what year it was. The great scholar. He was living in the Northeast, and he went down to Atlanta. And when he went down there, it changed his views on race. He became more of a so-called race man after he went to Atlanta, because he said he was in Atlanta, and there was a black man who had just got lynched, and W.B. Du Bois walked by a butcher shop, and the black man's knuckles were in the front window of the butcher shop. So he saw that, and that freaked him out. That made him say, "Hey, man, this racism thing is something we're really going to have to explore. What's going on with these people?" You see, so we got to understand the game out here, man. It's real heavy. And the white supremacists like to be in denial about a lot of stuff, but they always want to have some black person as a mascot to bring them luck. That's where the whole magic Negro thing comes from. That comes from the way they view us. Once they can get us tame, they want to use our spiritual power for themselves. You see, that's what the Magic Negro movies are all about. The Green Mile and The Legend of Bagger Vance, and that's what all of those movies are about. They always got to have this black magic Negro there so that they can drain our powers and our energy, you see. And we don't understand the power and the energy that we have. Now they do, but they do this psych op game on us. They sit up and denigrate us all the time openly, but behind closed doors, there's a subtle praise to a certain degree. You see, just like over there in Europe, they might talk greasy about black folks openly, like at those soccer games, like throwing bananas, especially in Italy. They'll sit there and throw bananas and fruit on the court or in the field when they're black players. But let me tell you something, privately over there in Italy, they'll pull out a black Madonna and child statue and worship that at the drop of a hat. You go all over Italy, they got them black Madonna and child statues, you see, up at the Vatican and all of these places. So these folks know. I want my FBA family to understand and know your power and utilize your power for yourselves. It's very important that we understand who we are and what we're capable of, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, tomorrow night, if you're in LA or you want to come to LA, we got an event at the Hidden History Museum. We got the 1 year anniversary at the Hidden History Museum. It's going to be on and popping. We got complimentary food, complimentary drinks. It is going to be on and popping, ladies and gentlemen. So you can go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com, hiddenhistorymuseum.com, and RSVP tonight, ladies and gentlemen. All right, what's up, Nikki? I see you, Nikki. Start raising your hands. Let me get folks on right now. Let's get Dolo. Let's get Dolo in here. Dolo, what's up, brother? Mr. Dolo, hop on, sir.
Yo, what's good? What's good, Tariq?
What's going on, Dolo? You got some noise going on in the back. What's happening with it? Oh, Dolo, where you at, man?
My fault. You hear me?
I can hear you now. What's going on?
Yeah, I was just calling real quick. I just had a quick question. What would your response be to like the Roland Martins of the world who, don't believe in your opposition for voting this coming election?
You got to be more detailed. You got to be a little more detailed. Now, what would my response be to what now?
You know, like how there's a lot of the elder community who would say that if you don't vote, you can't complain, things of that nature. What would your response be for, just,
Oh, okay,
negating
great.
that? Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay. Um, Thank you so much. My response would be to ignore their asses because they're non-factors. Don't even engage with them. That old crowd, the old Democrat crowd. To be honest, they're stuck in their ways. And the Rollins, listen, I don't really argue with the Roland types because these people are Democratic shills. So all of their arguments are in bad faith. You understand? Don't waste your time on bad faith arguments. Those arguments are in bad faith because they're doing the job. They're working for a particular political party. So everything they do is going to be shaped around that party no matter what, even though you're not going to get anything out of it. He's getting something out of it. You understand? Understand a bad faith argument when you see one. That's why people you don't really argue with the Candace Owens. The arguments are in bad faith. Her job is to argue the talking points given to her by the white supremacist right wingers. That's her job. And debunking her, you don't get any brownie points for debunking her. That she's a professional crash dummy. Her job is to crash out and do the bidding for the white supremacists and make a fool of herself. And she can't get canceled because she's not on anywhere. Nobody really put her on. She's just a mouthpiece for the white supremacists, just like Roland. Roland's the mouthpiece for the Democrats. Roland tries to shill for the Democrats so that he can get some kind of job position, so he can get some Democratic crumbs flicked on his table. And all of those Roland types. So their arguments are normally in bad faith. I wouldn't even waste time arguing with them. Sometimes now, some of the Democratic shills, I will have them come in the room and just so you can hear their talking points, how full of crap they are, so that we can debunk the talking points just for, to show people how to deal with it. But, don't waste too much time on those guys. Nora Adams.
Yes, Tariq, how are you?
I'm good, Nora. What's going on?
Yeah, thank you letting us know about that the hair wrapping thing. Even though I'm not FBA, but I'm not gonna let someone wrap my kid's hair.
Oh, yeah.
The other one that I would just wanna let you know that it was during the Epstein era, like last couple of months ago. They were talking about some one of those weird people that they go to a abortion clinics and they see a black girl and they will say, okay, don't have the abortion, we're gonna help you with the kid and this, and then they're gonna let that little girl give a birth to a black baby. And then when she give, they're gonna take the black baby, and they will raise for up to 6 3 months. And then, if you know that the black people, they have the most valuable stem cell that
Yes.
other people don't have. So,
Right.
and the yeah, and when the kid is less than 1 year old, has the most amount of stem cell in their body. So what they do, they're gonna take all that stem cell from the baby, and they use it to themselves, and then they're gonna also use the baby brain for skincare, so they
Yeah.
can stay young.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
black,
yeah.
yeah.
That's real. That's very real. Sis, thanks for bringing that up. The sister, she's hitting on some real stuff. Look, family. Like earlier when I was talking about how during slavery and during Jim Crow, during the lynchings, these people go look at some of those lynching photos. Just thousands of people are standing around. They're standing around to get first dibs on body parts. Do y'all know that? That's one thing out of those lynchings that's never talked about. That's always swept under the rug. After they would lynch a black person, these people would cut the body up and just fight over the
Hey, what's
body
going on,
part.
Flex?
What's up, Minister? How are you, bro? Mr. Al or AI? What's going on?
Um, my question is that I heard you yesterday. It's not a question, actually, it's a comment. I heard you yesterday on YouTube when you were talking about Michael Jackson, how he saved MTV, which is
Yeah.
very true.
Yes.
But I also would like to add, I think Prince also played a role too, because let's not forget that if it wasn't for his album Purple Rain and what that did, for MTV, I'm not sure if they would have lasted, another couple of years for that, because after Michael Jackson's Victory Tour and everything else, and then Prince's album, and then the movie and everything else, they started promoting him and his concerts and everything else, and usually showing it live. So that's what I wanted to add on. I'll land my plane
Yeah.
there.
Thank you. Yeah, Prince was instrumental in adding to the popularity of MTV, but it was really Michael Jackson took it to a whole different level. Prince was that guy, but Michael was on a whole different level. Michael was on a different stratosphere. And Michael Jackson, I talked about this on my broadcast last night about how so many foundational Black Americans saved some of these corporate entities, like the Shaft movie, and Black audiences saved MGM Pictures in the 1970s because the movie industry was in the crapper. And the movie Shaft came out, and that created and helped boost a whole new genre. Well, before Shaft, it was Sweet Sweetback by Melvin Van Peebles. Rest in peace, our brother. But it was the Black audiences that saved Hollywood. In the when did Blade come out? In the 90s. Blade, Wesley Snipes and Blade saved Marvel. Bill Cosby saved NBC with the Cosby Show, and MTV, when it came out, MTV was failing. MTV flopped when it came out. It lost $50 million, and it was about to go bankrupt. And then when they started uh, playing the Michael Jackson videos, that saved it. And not only that, that boosted up cable television. Somebody else made this point too, because in order to get MTV, you had to have cable television, and people wanted to watch the Michael Jackson videos, so you had to get a cable subscription. So Michael not only boosted up and saved MTV, he boosted up for the whole cable industry. You know, we got to give credit to our folks for doing phenomenal things. This is why I'm saying they need our energy. Without us, things it's just not popping. You understand? Without us and that foundational Black American Majora energy, it ain't popping. And MTV, when it first came out, they tried to Jim Crow it. They were only gonna play white artists, and it got boring. Truth be told, Nobody wanted to sit up and look at boring white rock artists. They might like the music, but just seeing these guys just screaming on a video, you're not doing anything but screaming, and you're not doing anything phenomenal. Nobody wants to see that. But Michael being a phenomenal performer, people wanted to see that. Then people wanted to see Prince. Yeah. They wanted to see what foundational Black Americans were doing. Let's get Maroc in here. Uh, Maroc, hop on.
Yo, what's going on, Tariq? Yeah, two things I want to touch on because the Egyptians, they also were eaten by white people.
Oh yeah, the mummies. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's so many missing bodies because white people literally ate mummified bodies of the Egyptians.
Oh yeah. That was real
Also,
big. That's real big in Europe at one point. They were eating mummies like them. They were at Jack in the Box in Europe at one point.
absolute. And the last point I want to make, it was a big topic you've been having about the Moors.
Yeah.
Recently, the NCBI did a study, a genetic study on the Moors, and they found that the Moors were in America since ancient times, and they relabeled and erased them. So I wanted to post that in the Tron for the family to really read because it really makes you think who else they've been erasing from the genetic databases.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Thank you. Post that up definitely. But thank you so much. But yeah, that's true. Yeah, there were Moors here in the Americas. Hey, go look at the movie American Maroon. We talk about some of those Moorish Muslims that traveled to the Americas centuries before Columbus. There's documents talking about these different Muslims coming from Al Andalus, that was Spain, when it was Muslim occupied and Moorish occupied. And the Moors, they were the ones who had the ships. They were controlling the trade routes. So they absolutely came over here. They absolutely came over here. That's why when Columbus and all of the European explorers started to come over here after 1492, who they bring with them? They always brought Moorish translators with them. They brought Moorish translators who could speak Hebrew and Arabic because the people here obviously spoke some of those languages, like the Hopi Indian. I think the Hopi Indian, they had found one of their ancient chants that they would do. They recorded it in the 1950s. There was a chant that they would do, and it almost sounded like gibberish. And then they started to kind of translate it and found out that the chant was actually an Arabic chant. Not only that, one of the explorers, was it Balboa? It was one of them explorers when they went down to Central America. They saw cities that had mosques in the cities, several mosques and Moorish buildings. These are their words. When Columbus went over to Cuba and the Caribbean, they said they saw some of the natives in Moorish tents. These are their words. They had Moorish tents that they were living in, some of them. So when you understand history, you start putting two and two together. It's real deep. But yeah, there were black people traveling over here, trading over here for centuries. Yeah. And that's not Afrocentrism. These are just documented facts. Let's get John MC. John MC, what's up, man? What's up, John?
Yes. Yes, sir.
What's up, John? How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. What's on your mind?
Um, 41-year-old white male, suburb of Boston. I wanted to ask you what you think is, if it's a positive or a negative, the role of Jehovah's Witness in Black America. And I say that because Jehovah's Witnesses are basically a third white, a third black, and a third Hispanic. And I don't know if you've ever addressed that. I just wanted to know what you thought of that and what the role is for
Yeah, with
Black
the
Americans or FBAs.
now, are you Jehovah's Witness?
I'm not, but I have a family member. My aunt is.
Okay. Now, from what I've seen, the Jehovah's Witness, man, a lot of them, the early ones, they were on some racist stuff. They had,
Yes.
they had some very anti-black views. So I'm not a fan of that at all. You understand?
Yep.
So yeah, them, the Mormons, all of these folks, man. If you look at some of their early doctrine, these people had a lot of anti-black rhetoric that they would spew. And the what's the Watchtower? Is that the
Yeah.
Jehovah's?
Watchtower. And they have like another one. I forget the name, but yeah, the Watchtower is like a weekly.
Right.
What do you? Yeah.
Yeah, and some of the early watchtowers back in the early 1900s, or yeah, and some of those watchtowers would have some very racist, anti-black rhetoric in those things.
Yeah.
So we have to understand the history. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of them either. So now, what's your religion?
I grew up Catholic. Went to Catholic school. I don't practice anymore. I don't go to church. But yeah, that's basically. I grew up and I went to Catholic school, and that's who I grew up around. Because in the Northeast in Massachusetts, it's very Catholic, and there's Catholic schools everywhere. Yeah.
There you go, my man. All right, I appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Some of these groups, man, the Jehovah Witness and some of their early doctrines was very anti-black. The Mormons, their stuff was real anti-black. They wouldn't, and they didn't start having black priests in the Mormon so-called faith until like the 1970s. So that's very interesting. You see, that's why I'm just focused on our spiritual energy. I am focused on our spiritual energy. Let's get Martell McCoy in the building. Martell McCoy. All right, Mr. Martell. All right, where you at? What's up, Martell?
Um, what do you think about this guy named Carson?
What's his name?
Billy Carson.
I don't know. I don't know about him.
Okay. He talks about the Sumerian tablets and thought that came before the Moors. Supposedly they taught the Moors all that they know, even before the Egyptians.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I couldn't really speak on the brother because I just don't know who the brother is. But okay. All right. Let me see who else is here. Let's get James. James in the building. Let's get Mr. James.
Hey, what's going on, brother Nasheed?
James, how you doing, sir?
Man, I've been all right, man. I hope everything's good with you. Have you been kept abreast on the BS that's going on in Mississippi?
Oh, which part of the BS? There's always some BS
Dude,
going down there.
dude, all those men coming up mysteriously missing, man, it's,
Oh,
it's
right. Right.
crazy.
Yeah. What's the vibe like down there about that?
It's kind of weird. Like I'm the type of guy, you bring it, you get it. I feel like nobody cares. If it's not your relative, I feel like nobody gives a damn. But it's just weird all the way around. It seems like nobody's really concerned.
Yeah, and that's a problem. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This stuff goes on, and in this black family, we are way too cavalier about a lot of stuff that goes on. We just like, oh well, that's just the way it is. No, man, we got to start. We got to keep making noise. Look, I know it gets tiring fighting against white supremacy, but we just can't be all casual and neutral and just normalize this stuff. This ain't normal. Like on my broadcast the other day, I was talking about how people are teaching black children how to encounter the police and how to be safe and what to say, what not to say, which is good to do. But That's a pathetic way to live. The fact that we have to live in such a pathetic manner, we also, while we're teaching our children how to be safe, simultaneously, we need to be working vehemently to replace this degenerate system of white supremacy with the system of justice. That should be the number one priority if we have to sit here and try to tell our children how not to get blown away by a trigger happy race soldier. That's not a normal way to live. We got to stand up and say enough is enough. This is why I'm glad the reparations movement is going like it's going. People are standing 10 toes down on reparation business and not backing down. And as you notice, the white supremacists are still they're getting very hostile. Like Neely Fuller says, the white supremacists, they will try to deceive you with words, and once they can't trick you with words, then they start getting into direct violence. So they're getting more and more hostile, but don't be afraid. Stand up to that. Bambi rocks. Hop on, Bambi.
Hey, what's up, Tariq? How you
What's up?
doing?
How you doing, brother?
Good, good. Cool question. Well, how can we destroy the system of white supremacy?
Man, very good question. We destroy it by being on code. That's the problem. Let me tell you something. White supremacy, it's a powerful system, but it's a somewhat weak system because it's delicate, because it's all predicated on lies. Anything that's built on lies is inherently weak. It has powerful overtones, but the core of it is extremely weak. And when something has a weak core, it can be toppled easily. You understand? You just got to get to the core. It's like a building. You build a building on a shaky foundation. You can put all types of satellites and missiles and all types of stuff on the top. If you hit that right spot on the bottom, all of that's going to crumble down. And it's built and predicated. The system of white supremacy is built on lies. Family, the problem that we've had dealing with white supremacy, we could have wiped white supremacy out a long time ago and had justice a long time ago. Here in the Americas, in Africa, all over the world, we could have gotten that shit up out of here. The problem has always been the coon within. That's been the problem. When it's time to get on code, there's always a coon in the mix. The coon problem is a very big problem that we don't really nip in the bud like we need to. Because when it's time to turn up and get rid of white supremacy, there's going to be a coon somewhere with a cape on and a plate of butter biscuits telling the enemies all the plans. That's been our downfall, ladies and gentlemen. The coon collaborators. Understand, over in Africa, you had warriors, and the warriors were thorough. We were the warrior class. Our ancestry that goes to Africa, we were part of the warrior class. And the thing is, we got deceived by other tribal groups over there. We weren't used to, them selling us out to the white supremacists. We weren't used to that. So we got deceived. So while we were sitting up here with some people who we thought, yeah, we might have some tribal differences, but like men, we fight. Whoever wins, you're the man. Y'all shake hands and y'all keep it pushing. War was looked at as a test of manhood back in ancient times. You fight somebody man to man, you win, you dust yourself off, you pop your collar, and you both show respect to each other. This whole deceptive thing where you bring somebody in and take care of them and then they turn around and flip on you, we weren't really used to that kind of deception of the white supremacists. And we're still not, to be honest. We still haven't figured out the tactics and the deception and the lying ways of the white supremacists. We really haven't internalized that and understood it for what it really is. You see, it's a real deep dynamic. Let's get Sega Saturn in here. All right, what's up, Sega Saturn? All right, Sega Saturn, where you at, man? Yes, I can hear you.
These Hispanic like migrants will be a like problem for foundational black like Americans.
Yeah, yep. Once they get hazed into full whiteness, they're gonna flip on us. Some of them, hell, they're not even waiting. Up there in Chicago, they had a town hall meeting, and there was an immigrant who done just ran over the border. He has an accent up there yelling to the black folks, "You lazy, you lazy, you blacks are lazy," yelling, "You blacks are lazy." So they're already getting on it right now. They're not even waiting until they get hazed into whiteness. They jumping over the border talking crap. You dig? So it's a real interesting dynamic. I don't know why black people are supporting the Democrats at this point. I don't know why you're doing that. Let's get a couple of folks in here. Let's get Humble Beast, and then we'll get Deshaun. Let's get Humble Beast.
Please, Gall.
What's up, man? How are you? Humble? Oh, Humble, your mic got a little janky, brother. Turn your mic back on. All right. While we're waiting on Humble, let's get brother Deshaun in here. Doshawn? All right, where you at, Deshaun? Okay. Hope it's not a problem on my end. Can y'all hear Doshawn? I can't hear him. Let me get Zoe in here. Let's see if I can hear Zoe. All right, Zoe.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up, Zoe? How are you?
I'm chilling, man. I'm chilling. I had a question. In our
You're very
lifetime,
low. You're very low, Zoe. Zoe, you're very, very low.
you hear me now?
Much better. Go ahead.
Great,
All
great,
right.
great. In our lifetime, what do you think is more probable? Reparations from Africa or reparations from the U.S.? And what is the pathway
Um,
to getting reparations from Africa?
yeah, well, reparations from the U.S. definitely reparations from the U.S. because we know they got it. Right now, Africa ain't really holding nothing, and that would, we got to work out the logistics of that, getting what we need to get from some of those African nations because those African nations don't exist. But here's the thing: some of those tribal groups like to brag about them being slave owners. So the ones that like to do that, we need to holler at them. We need to holler at them. Deshaun, are you ready?
Yes, sir, I am, Brother Tariq. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. What's on your mind, sir?
Yes, sir. Listen, 2 nights ago, or going on 2 nights ago, on February 21st, we commemorated the assassination of Brother Malcolm X. So
Yeah,
I was here in New York at the Shabazz Center, which was formerly the Audubon, where he was assassinated. Mark Lamont Hill, he moderated, and Ben Crump was the keynote speaker. Brother Tariq, what I want to know from you, and I've been meaning to ask you this for quite some time. I know the brother Abdul Rahman. He did Who Killed Malcolm X and identified all five of the actual assassins.
yeah.
Although Brother Malcolm was murdered by black hands, do you feel that white supremacy still had a role in his assassination?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He had agents all around him, man. When you look at the images of Malcolm when he died, the dude, go look at the picture of the dude giving him mouth to mouth. It's a dude named Eugene Roberts. I think that's his name.
Yes,
Eugene
sir.
Roberts, he was a undercover cop in a Fed. He was an informant. So yeah, those guys they had informants all around them, letting people know their every move. Yeah, when we start getting assassinated with informants there, yeah, the white supremacists got a hand in that 100%. And also, you said Mark Lamont Hill was moderating. That's offensive because Mark Lamont Hill was putting some BS out about Malcolm. Mark Lamont Hill was promoting that nonsense about Malcolm X being bisexual and all that old bullshit that they were trying to do. Y'all remember that? There was this the white supremacists got one of their Negro flunkies that put out a book, Marabee, something, I forgot the name. Something Marabee, I forgot the guy's name. But yeah, they were trying to denigrate Malcolm by saying that um, he was possibly bisexual. There's no proof of that. You know, they pop up with this stuff later on down the line. They do all this stuff to denigrate our iconic figures. They always got something to try to low key sully our iconic figures. You dig? That's cap. All right. Let me see. We got a lot of people in here. A lot of folks in here right now. Let's get um heavy is the crown. Heavy is the crown. Hop on. Where you at, brother?
Uh, Hello,
Yep.
Tariq.
What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, man? It's a pleasure to speak to you.
How you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm great. I'm from Southern California, from the Riverside area, and I ended up getting a. I worked hard and got a Division I scholarship. Played big time college football, and I noticed that. I've been listening to you for 20 years, man. Shout out to you, man, OG. I appreciate
Yes,
that. But
yes, sir.
I I noticed that when we'll go different places. We traveling week to week and playing. When you have the helmet on and the uniform on, that's the only time that you know i- i- white supremacists. White supremacy. You don't really feel it. You know what I'm saying? The
Right.
crowd cheering for you and all that. But after that, you take the jersey off. You know what I'm saying? You still a nigga.
Oh
You
yeah.
did.
Oh yeah.
And the question I want to ask you is I listened to Frances Cress Welsing, one of her videos, and she was talking about fear of white genetic annihilation. And my question for you is: i- i- Is that it? I mean, is that the reason these cats hate us, man? Is that all there is to it? And I'll land my plane.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Hold on. Who is this? Hold on. We got some white supremacists posting up a whole bunch of stuff on the board. Multiculturalism is non-white colonialism. Okay, way of the world. All right, hop on, way of the world. Where you at? You spamming the jumbotron with all of this stuff with a Jewish person and a whole bunch of African people. Ain't got nothing to do with us. Okay. All right. Way of the world. Why don't you tap in and say what you got to say, buddy? All right. You can hop in and chop up game. But let's get Miss Tay. Let's get her in, please. Miss Tay, hop in. Miss Tay, are you here? All right. Miss Tay. Okay, so Miss Tay ain't saying nothing. All right. Miss Tay, is that you low key posting all of that weird stuff? All right, let's get Chuck OG in here. Chuck OG, hop in. Chuck OG, hop in. Mr. Chuck OG. Okay.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's up, Chuck?
What's up, OG?
So what's on
Hey,
your mind?
man, it's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. Been following you for a long time, man. We talked not too long ago. I told you I had those cotton scales waste for you. Man, I got some whale buckets and some more little things, man, I'm putting together before I try to get it sent out to you.
No doubt.
So
No doubt. We definitely
be
need that.
looking out for that.
Oh
But
yeah.
brother, I wanted to tell you something, man. Uh, so today, well, the other day, man, I had to give them white supremacists at the job that work, man. You know, and when I just put it out there, they said, "Oh well, buddy, you throwing a race card at us?" I said, "Well, sir, I can't pull the race card when I work for a race casino.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And,
they fired my black ass today.
oh damn, Lord.
But you know what? You know what? I'm glad they did because your boy been getting it out the mud anyway, man. I got my own little business going, man. I got a construction company. You know, we got a couple of tractors, man. We getting it, man. So I ain't worried about it.
Oh yeah, yeah. You gonna
But
be?
I just want to let you know, man, that race casino statement, they hate that.
Oh yeah,
And that's a classic, brother. So I want to thank you for that, Jim.
my man. I appreciate you, man. Be safe out there, brother. Yeah, they kill me when they start talking about somebody playing a race card. They got a lot of nerve, that's a projection. That's a major projection. Let's get a brother Terrain in here. Brother Terrain, hop on. Brother Terrain, brother Terrain, hop on, sir.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good, man. What's on your mind?
Um, this is an interesting conversation and it's a necessary conversation. You remember you remember that scene at the very beginning of One Night in Miami where James Brown character comes to meet this old white man who acts like he's his friend. He's really proud of his football achievements and everything, and he's basically filling this dude up with praise, saying, you know, we love you, you're a hometown person, and all that thing goes on for like 10 minutes. And
Mm,
then his wife or his daughter comes down and says dinner's ready, and he says, "All right, let's go eat." And the white man stops him and says, "You know, we don't allow niggers in the house." You know what I mean?
wow.
That's that's the American relationship to black people and black men in general. They love our work, they love our physical prowess, they love what we can create, but they don't see us as full human beings. And as long as we don't lose sight of that, I think we'll be all right. I think
Wow.
what's happened with a lot of us is that we've lost sight of that. And when something happens, like the things you've been relaying and the things that the brother who just spoke said, we get shocked and appalled. And that's because we've lost sight of the things that the nature of a lot of these people. As long as we realize who we are and realize what their agenda is, we'll be fine. And we got to get more people in place who know that and are willing to remind us of that. And I think that's what a lot of these situations happen, and that's how they come about. People think they've gotten a job and they think they made it. You ain't never made it if you don't own nothing. And as long as it's like that, it's gonna continue. And I'll land, brother.
Absolutely. That's real talk. Yeah, man, we don't understand how white supremacy works. I've been seeing lately a lot of TikTok videos of like biracial kids or biracial people who are adults talking about their white mothers being racist. Have y'all seen a lot of that lately? I've been seeing a lot of that lately. It's that rapper. What was that rapper? It was a biracial rapper. He said that his mom was racist. She would call them the N word. And I see this a lot. I see a lot of people who are biracial who had white mothers, and they're saying that when they were growing up, after a while, their mothers, even though these white women were sometimes even married to black men, they would sit up here and denigrate the black children. They would sit up there and call them all types of N words and all types of other derogatory names. You understand? Excuse me. And this is very common. And a lot of people are acting shocked like, how does that happen? How does a white woman who has black kids and who had a black husband, how do they end up running around yelling the N word, sounding like a Karen? Well, the thing is, man, white supremacy is a dependent system where mediocre people who can't cut it in life without a system of welfare and white supremacy, they need that system. And that goes for some of these Karens out here. Now, when they're young and fly, they do what they want to do. But when they get older and haggard and the resources start drying up, they need white supremacy. They need that system. So they need to adhere to the system and pledge allegiance to the system of white supremacy and maintain the system so that they can have a leg up. We got to understand how powerful the draw of white supremacy is to the dominant society. This is why they're not doing anything to replace it, because they get too many benefits. You understand? There's benefits to it, and they get too many benefits. They don't have an incentive to replace it. So the name of the game is to sit up here and gaslight us all the time. And the name of the game is to be in denial. They have the luxury to be in denial about white supremacy. We don't. We don't have that luxury. All right. Let's get let me see, Test Boy. Test Boy. And let me see who else. All right, Test Boy, hop on. And Lizway, I think I had you on the other day, right? Lizway. All right, let's get Lizway in here. And then let's get Lucerito. Lucerito. Lucerito, hop on. Or Leeway, hop on. Or Lizway.
Yo, Tariq, how you doing, bro?
What's up, Lucerito?
Oh no, it's Leesway. Yeah,
Leezway,
that's
okay,
me.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. You
Anyway,
called? Did you call before? Wait, did you call before?
I called in the other day. Yeah, I called in the other day.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Um,
yeah,
so um, I got first question. So Mr. Neely Fuller's old. It's like it's 94, 95.
right,
Who do you think? I mean, obviously there's you. You kind of you know the code, and I know you're doing your work to spread the code and stuff like that. But who do you think is there after Mr. Neely Fuller? In terms of the elders, because I feel like he's like one of the last OGs from that era, like the 30s, the guy who's kind of walked with MLK and walked with Malcolm X, and I'm pretty sure he's met up with like a whole range of like big name white supremacists from the way he talks.
yeah,
So who do you think sort of kind of comes in after, fills in as a teacher? I mean, other than yourself, but
right.
I
Well, we have.
mean,
Luckily, we
yeah,
have still have a lot of the. Thank you so much. Luckily, we already have a lot of the scholar warriors out here. Like James Small, Brother Kaba still out here. You got Brother Phil Valentine still out here. So you still have some heavyweights still stomping out here. Yeah, Mr. Fuller, Neely Fuller, yeah, he's in his mid 90s and still, he's still spitting game, still chopping it up. So it's really up to us to soak that game in and take the baton, and then we run with it. Okay? We have to run with that baton. We need some more people carrying on the work of Brother Neely Fuller and Dr. Welsing. That's why we got a museum. That's why y'all need to come to the Hidden History Museum. We got a whole shrine for Dr. Welsing to let you know how deep the game is, to let you guys know her writings and her work. See, it's up to us to boost that up. And that's exactly what we're doing on the grassroots over here. Let's get Mikos. Mr. Mikos, hop in. Mr. Mikos, hop in, sir. And by the way, y'all get your tickets for the Hidden History Museum tomorrow. We got an event tomorrow night. We got great food, great drinks, great music, phenomenal comedy. Y'all need to come through. It's at 2131 West Jefferson here in LA. Go to hiddenhistorymuseum.com and RSVP tonight because I want to see y'all there tomorrow. It's our 1 year anniversary, so we're going to have a great time. Who we got? Mikos?
Thank you once again for having me up here, Tariq. How you
How you
doing,
doing,
brother?
brother? I'm good, man.
Doing
What's up?
okay. Two things. One thing, I know you mentioned some things about who you wanted to have speak at the at your next event. I was
Yes.
thinking some of the speakers, some of these good activists on here on Twitter, if we can do some kind of poll or whatever, because it's a lot of good, scholars on here as well. So.
No
That's a
doubt.
good recommendation. Second, I know you don't really talk about other people's business. We focus on us, but this is about Julian Assange. And what do you think about America? What they're gonna do about him, and just journalism and speaking truth to power?
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to stay abreast on what's going on with Julian Assange. I don't know what's going on now. There's some new stuff coming out, so I got to research it some more. Mr. Speaker, Mr. No, Mr. What's your name? Mr.
Black America.
There you go. Yeah, what's on your mind, brother?
What's going on, brother Tariq? How you doing, man? Yeah, no, I had a question. I remember you did like a live one time. We was chopping up game about. You said there's like an insecurity between like with Mexican guys when they deal with when Mexican girls deal with black guys, and a lot of Mexican guys they don't like that. They feel very insecure, and I ran into that a couple of times. What's with that? Because I know they feel like if she's been touched, that she's now tainted. Could you go into that?
Right, right. It ain't about tainted. See, that's how they try to spin it. It ain't tainted. No, when she's been with her brother, she done been with the best. So now they know they don't measure up. That's what that's about. It ain't about being tainted. They understand when that white woman or that Hispanic woman or Asian woman, when she gets with her brother, she has different expectations now. They understand that. That's what that is. She's not tainted. Not tainted at all. That's some BS they put out there to kind of spin. You understand? They just know, okay, she done had the best. So how are they going to measure up to that? Yeah, and because they know the white woman is going to be looking at them funny style now. You see, the white woman's going to be looking at them differently now, or the Hispanic woman is going to look at them different, or the Asian woman will look at them differently. You do. So that's what that's about. So don't we got to stop letting people run this psych op on us like we're the problem. No, the problem is their own insecurities. Prophet, hop on, man.
Yo, peace, God. What's happening?
Man, how you doing,
I'm
Mister?
all right.
What's on your mind?
Shoot, really, bro. I'm curious about what you think it would take to get, like, what steps would we need to take to get these anti-black hate crime bills in effect? Because I know, we're fighting for the reparations and we want that, but I think it's damn near equally as important to get like these hate crime bills so we have the I don't know, the legislation on the book so we can protect ourselves from these race soldiers. I know everybody's seen the video of the dude in the police car getting shot at because the motherfucker said that he was getting shot and it was an acorn and just
Right,
different
right,
videos and things of that going on. And I really it's just crazy that they can get away with this shit. What do you think it would take for us to get that hate crime bill popping?
right. For us to stay all the way on code, for us to say as a group, we gonna stand on this business. When enough of us are on code, we're gonna get stuff done. Again, the problem is it's the coon class, and it's easy to kind of pay the coon class off. It's easy to throw somebody a couple of butter biscuits and have them do the bidding, and then try to undermine all of us. And then they'll elevate these Sambo class folks to be our spokespersons, and their job is to squash the movements and squash the energy. So we got to call that out at all times. So, we got a lot of work to do. See, we got to stop playing around and be very serious about this empowerment thing. Power means just that. In order to maintain power, you yourself have to be empowered. You have to be willing to get up and maintain what you need to maintain. See, we've been told and taught by the dominant society to just kind of be leisurely people. Everything is all about partying, turning up, laying around, kicking it, booty shaking, and you got it made. No, 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 no. That's a trick bag. They always promote the partying thing to us and the dominant society. It's all about building with them, the responsibility of building and being in control. We have to start thinking in those terms. It's very important we think in those terms because you got to understand how societies work. Societies go up and down all the time. And it was an Islamic scholar back in the 14th century, Ibn Khaldun, something like that. I forgot his name. Ibn something. Khaldun. Yeah, Ibn Khaldun. I think that's his name. He wrote a very interesting book about. He was one of the first people to write about history and study societies and sociology. And he talks about how. Hold on, my wife got the TV. Hold on one second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. Can y'all hear the TV, guys? Can y'all hear this TV in the back? I'm in the other room, and my wife got the TV blasting like we in the goddamn projects. But this guy wrote a book talking about how societies go up and down. And first you have a powerful society, and then a group of barbarians or outsiders come and ravish the society. And then the so called barbarians, once they get settled, they get comfortable and they get leisurely and they get set in their ways. And then they put their guards down. And then another group of barbarians come in and then undertake that. And then the barbarian group rises up. They start building, they get settled, they get established, they become institutionalized, they create a society. Once they get relaxed, and then that next group comes in. So it's a never ending cycle. And because the white supremacists have been so powerful and they see how we turn up, we're that next turn up group. That's why all eyes are on us all the time. That's why everything is designed about keeping us down, keeping us broke, keeping us without resources, because they understand if anybody is going to topple white supremacy, it's going to be foundational Black Americans and the spirit of Mojara, our Mojara spirit. That's going to topple it. So that's why everything is all about what are we doing? What can they do to thwart what we got going on? All of our meetings have to be infiltrated. Who are these Negroes meeting with? Everything is all about what we're doing. You understand? Everything. All right, let's get Kid Larger here because you putting up a lot of emotion. You're putting up a lot of emojis. Kid Larger, what's up, man? Hop on, sir. What is on your mind, sir? Waiting on you to get on. Kid Larger, hop on, man.
Hello, bro. I just wanted to say that the white man raped and murdered the indigenous people of Australia. You know, these fucking thin-lipped crackers
Okay,
literally bred the
no,
melanin.
slow down. Slow down. Slow down. Okay, this is the white man trolling. Okay, let's slow that down. Now that we've established you're a white man trolling, now let's talk real. Go ahead. Now, why are you trolling as a black man?
The white man raped the black
Okay, no, no, no,
woman on
no.
the
Be
plantations, man.
yourself. Be
That's what happened.
yourself. Be
Huh?
yourself. Stop. No, no, no. Be yourself. Why are
Okay,
you?
I'll be myself.
Okay. Now, why are you pretending to be a black person?
Because the white man systematically
Okay,
bred the
no, no,
melanin.
no, 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 no. Yeah, that's not funny. It's not even witty. It's lame. Talk regular. That your routine already fell flat. So why is it that you are pretending to be a black person on the internet?
How much are these white pedophiles paying you to support the system of white supremacy? White cunt. You thin-lipped cracker. Bro, how much cracker DNA do you possess, bro? How much white colonizer animal DNA do you possess?
You almost sound East African. Are you East African? Wait a minute. You might not even be a white supremacist. You might be a
Tariq, I've
wanna,
been waiting.
You might be a wannabe. I'm kind of getting some Injera vibes off you, brother. I'm kind of getting some Injera vibes off you, sir.
It's real Tariq. That shit, 3 million followers. I'm speaking. Yeah, bro. Look, man, I don't have any problem with your, the foundational black Americans, but come on, man. We can't let these guilty white male devils divide us, bro. Let's just keep it real. The white man raped the black children, he raped the Aboriginal woman. Come on, man. How were Latinas created, man? Latinas were created by way of.
Well, tethers are so unwitty, boy. No wonder y'all women, the women, Lord, the women believe in these guys. Dude, this dude is about 2 minutes in, unfunny, unwitty. His routine is completely falling flat, but he's committed to it. Listen to him. Listen to him.
Mexicans and Puerto Ricans were created by way of white men sexually abusing indigenous.
Wow. That dude, that's the 4chan type of dude. These are the guys that's on 4chan, these goofy, nerdy dudes with this dry wit and this passive aggressive trolling. See, that's that whiny trolling, this trolling right here, that's very unfunny. It's a way to massage the pain and insecurity that these guys have, not being foundational black Americans. You see. Notice how he's trying to use a lot of foundational black American talking points. When I say we are rent free, we're rent free with these people. The dude is just sitting here trying to use a whole bunch of foundational black American talking points. And it's coming across real corny, but just the fact that these people sit up here and create whole accounts pretending to be foundational black Americans, that's how powerful the Mojara spirit is, family. For those who don't know what Mojara is, that's the foundational black American spirit and soul that we have. There was a God spirit that was given to us that allowed us to survive the greatest atrocity in humankind. And we survived it and thrived and started creating cultures with our foundational black American Mojara energy. We had a mojo and an aura that nobody had and nobody has now except us. And they try their best to latch onto it. That's why we are the most influential people on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. And we're studied and watched and emulated 24 hours a day by people. I want our foundational black Americans to understand their power. You are very unique. All these people do is sit at home in these different countries looking in the mirror, practicing how to act and sound and talk like us. See, we've let these people run a psych op game on us to make it seem like we weren't the shit. No, we are those people. We are the business. When we say people who are chosen, we are chosen by everybody. Chooses to watch what we doing and emulate us. When you travel around the world, any corner of the world you go to a barber shop, they're going to have one of those posters of foundational black American haircuts. Give me the number 8, please. They got those all around the world. Our culture is deep, and we've influenced the planet with our foundational black American culture and the spirit of Mojara.
From the culture of the American South, where roots hold stories, comes a natural deodorant inspired by generations of wisdom. Introducing Rootwork, the all-natural foundational black American-based deodorant infused with the magic of High John the Conqueror root. Our unique blend enriched with this legendary root offers 24-hour protection, rooted in the power of nature. Embrace this deodorant that celebrates culture, history, and your well-being. Unlock the magic of Rootwork today. Experience the pure essence of nature. Visit rootworkstyle.com
and make the switch to a healthier cultural choice.